Sure we're live, and we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Wolf. Good to see everybody here. Happy Monday morning to all the crypto people out there. Let's get into this conversation. We have the team from EstateX. We have Stephen Bart. EstateX is a tokenized real estate platform, making it possible to invest in global property markets with just a few bucks. No banks, no middlemen, none of that stuff. Turning real estate into digital assets and diving into the passive income sector, the wealth building sector, and opportunities that everyday crypto investors have. So, Steve, welcome to the show. Bart, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to be here. Once again, hat trick.
Yes. Yes, sir. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. We're just missing Emp. We'll have to get Emp back on at some point. But
we call it hat trick in the UK. We call it hat trick in the UK. What do you guys say in America was 3 times in a row? Do you guys have every bowling or something like that?
I guess it depends what sport you're playing, as an individual. But I would call it a hat trick because I also played that sport.
Right. The trilogy.
So, yeah, the trilogy. Let's go. That maybe that's more like it. But Steve, welcome to both you guys. It's good to see you guys. You guys have a bunch of stuff cooking up real soon. That's why we're having you guys back on. So I'm really excited to get into it. If you guys could though, give us like the brief, quick introduction on who you guys are. What you're building toward, and then we'll dive into some of the exciting news you guys have coming up.
Yeah, 100%. Go ahead, Steve. No, go ahead.
All right, cool. So, we're EstateX, tokenizing real estate. We're doing it completely differently. Anybody else has done it before. Yes, we're tokenizing real estate, but we're doing a lot more as well. But even just on the tokenizing real estate part, we're bringing the real world into RWA. There's a lot of RWA companies out there that are really just focusing on Web3, which is obviously Web3 is just a small section of the real world. You know how it is, Cage. If you go out onto the streets of most city centers in the UK right now and you stop 100 people, most people at this moment are still not invested in crypto, but they're always interested in real estate and certain commodities. So we're able to have a platform that caters to them as well as the crypto people. We're one of the first RWA companies to actually set ourselves up for that mass worldwide adoption. There is a reason why tokenization real estate has not taken off worldwide. And one of it is that it doesn't even appeal to non-crypto people. So we, with our platform, with our partners, we set ourselves up for mass worldwide adoption. A little bit about us. We have one of the biggest, the biggest community of investors in tokenized real estate. We have one of the most active and most passionate communities in crypto. Shout out to the EstateX family. We have one of the highest staked pre-staked ICOs in the market, with over 55% of our pre-sale tokens have been staked and locked for an average of 7 years, which is phenomenal. It's like almost 2 bull cycles. We have I'm not saying that to impress you, but just to impress upon you the level of trust, belief, any investor that have done their DD into the company, there's a reason why they're bullish for the long term type of thing. Just like when the internet came out 30 years ago, online payments was inevitable and everything's online now. We live in a world where, hey, what's up, Team SUS? SUS. We live in a world where the average person can't get into the property market. The average 30-year-old cannot get into the property market, which is shocking. And the rates of inflation are going through the roof. So tokenization of real estate, fractional ownership of real estate is inevitable. Just like online payments was inevitable when the internet came out. The way the economies are at the moment, and the average Joe and the working class and middle class are struggling, tokenization of real estate is inevitable. People have just been waiting for a solution to be done correctly. Now we're here to present to you why EstateX is that solution. There's a reason why the co-founder of USDT is one of our lead investors and our backers, and he's even doubled up his investment with his fund DNA and his partners Chris and Scott. And we had an amazing AMA with DNA a couple of days ago, and they're talking about how bullish they are and how we're one of their first RWA projects, and how they really, really are bullish with what EstateX is doing. And then we have some amazing Web3 partnerships as well. And it's just our ecosystem, our legalities, the partnerships that we have, and then what we're going to get into shortly, and Bart will go into it, the L1 blockchain that we're launching, and the other verticals we're bringing onto the L1 blockchain, like music artists, sports teams. We really are bringing the real world into RWA. So can't wait to tell you guys more about it. And one of the main things to understand off the bat is we have one of the lowest barriers to entries. It's one thing to say somebody can get onto the property market for as little as $1,000 or $5,000, which is really low. But unfortunately, the average person in everyday society doesn't have a spare $1,000 or $5,000, but $100 is more affordable. We're making investing in real estate simple, affordable and accessible to anyone, anywhere. Doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter how much money you have, doesn't even matter your credit rating. With as little as $100, we can make you a certified property investor and also earning multiple streams of passive income through capital gains and through the rental income as well.
Beautiful. Or was there anything you wanted to add to that? I don't know if Steve had alluded to something, but
I think Steve has summarized the overview very properly. Obviously, you know what makes us also unique is the RWA L1 blockchain, where a lot of people ask us like, why are you building a blockchain? And it's you know, we've seen so many inefficiencies with RWA blockchains. Either the gas fees are too high, or the token standards are not compatible, or you know, our regulated partners cannot work on the blockchain because it's not reliable enough, or it doesn't comply with regulations. So we have built our own chain, a chain that, you know, we would like to use for all the tokenization within the ecosystem, whether that be an institution that wants to tokenize their assets and get their assets on chain via white label technology that we don't even need to sell, or whether that be new projects building on it, new RWA projects, or the own ecosystem assets that we tokenize and sell on the platform. So we build an L1 with regulated tokenization, where we can execute via a regulated registrar, via the German Electronic Securities Act. We can put actual ownership into a smart contract on the blockchain, so that it's actually in a regulated manner. Ownership is registered of an asset, and security token sets are given out compatible with that. You know, it's fast, it's reliable. We have white label technology with it. We have ZK KYC for KYC efficiencies to share data with regulated partners. We make sure that we have the complete package, where you can do fundraising, where you can do our white label tech, the incubation side where we put projects on the market, and everything is facilitated by the ESX token, which is the native token of the chain, but also the lifeblood of the ecosystem. I'm sure we will get into that, how 20 to 35% of revenue flows back, etc., etc. So yeah, lots to talk about here. Very excited.
Definitely, man. Definitely. How was that experience, by the way, jumping in? Like, was the plan to launch an L1 from the start? Like, how was that part of the experience?
Yeah, it's a good question. So it was actually literally probably about, we've been doing this for almost 5 years. So probably about 6 months after, we had as a team, and we thought this is a vision what we want to do. But at that time, there's a lot of kind of like, and still is, but there's a lot of fakeness in crypto. There's a lot of people that weren't genuine. And we've got an AMA next after this with a private community called Drew's Gems. And Drew's massive in the crypto industry, as you know. And he was really, really skeptical. Like, well, who are these guys? We don't have a platform yet. You know, you got a vision, you got a dream, but I see this so much in crypto, and a lot of people have been burnt. So I think that when you kind of go too big without kind of showing and proving yourself, a lot of people just don't believe, and they're like, well, hold on, just focus on this to begin with. So we decided to play the game. We wanted to build with strong foundations. So we did it baby steps, and we got our legalities in place. We got the platform in place. And the great thing, when I decided to like work with Bart and Thomas, when they founded this 6 months before I jumped on it, we always say this, they could have raised money in the previous bull market, you know what I mean, where it was just so easy to raise money, and people were rug pulling, and people were, you know, projects were failing and stuff like that. They didn't want to raise money, you know what I mean? And for me personally, actions speak louder than words. When you meet a genuine crypto company that is not money focused first, it's product, it's people focused first, it's focused on the solution, what value, how can we serve, because we know the money's going to come in secondary. So, you know, the fact that, you know, we decided to actually do it the proper way around, build a business first, get the legalities in place, get the roadmap in place, the partnerships, you know, the platform, all of the team, everything, that obviously speaks volumes. So when we were starting out, there's a lot of people that thought, are these genuine? Are they going to survive the bear market? This and that. Now we've proven that. Now everybody's like, okay, cool, we believe you. So now it's in a situation where like, this is what we've been working on, and it's obviously a lot more believable. Whereas at the start, it wouldn't have been. But to be honest, we had planned it from the start, but we'd only really the last couple of years started really aggressively working on the L1 blockchain. But it is something that has been planned from the start. And even now, when we're talking about hopefully in 2, 3, 4 years from now, you'd be like, well, did you guys plan the sports teams? Did you guys plan the multi-platinum selling music artists, the fire companies, the computer data centers? And yes, even though we're not going to be doing it immediately, now we have the L1 blockchain. These are the things that we're actually going to be progressing into later on this year. And there's some things that obviously we're not even going to say now that are going to absolutely blow people's minds. Where if we say now, like, what, you guys are on crack, you're never going to be able to do that, you're never going to be able to pull that off. Which if we would have said 4 years ago about the L1 blockchain where we're at now, they wouldn't have believed. If they would have said that we would have one of the highest staked ICOs, over 55% of our pre-sale investors would have staked a lot for 7 years in crypto, they wouldn't have believed. And I guarantee you, because obviously we're always going to keep in touch with you guys at Wolf. We love you guys. So I guarantee you, when we're on our 18th, 19th AMA in the year 2027, the things that we're thinking now and the things that we have planned now that we can't tell everybody, they wouldn't believe us now. But in 2027, best believe you're gonna know.
Let's go. I love it. Man, that's awesome stuff. I wanted to zoom out a little bit and get y'all's perspective on real world assets as a whole, real estate markets coming on chain, and where you see us today, where you kind of, now that we have a new presidency and they're all pro crypto and they're all talking about that stuff, where you guys expect the next few years to go for the industry. And I just kind of want to get a pulse check on where you guys at, zoomed out more on a market.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. A lot of times we go in depth about EstateX, but obviously, I think a market analysis is obviously the base and where it all starts, right? So yeah. Well, the interesting thing about RWA, I think, is that we're completely in the beginning stages. Recently, we had an AMA with DNA Fund from Brock Pierce, Scott Walker, and Chris Melinho, who are also our backers. And they said, like, it's not a question if, it's not a question when, it's a question of who. They backed EstateX to be that party. But, I think that the gist of the message is that it's inevitable, right? It's inevitable that assets will go on chain. It's what Larry Fink also says constantly. All assets will get tokenized, and I'm not bullish on for nothing. I always make the comparison to metaverses, like 4 years ago. When people thought that was going to be the next big thing, and it was one of the leading narratives, right, of the previous bull cycle. Metaverses, and now it's completely died down. Nobody speaks about metaverses anymore. But if you see at the top level, I think it's a telling sign that there are so many researchers, papers speaking about tokenization, because it has real market solving benefits, right? It solves so many inefficiencies in traditionally outdated markets. Let's say for real estate, for example, the system of real estate has been the same for decades. And normally when a market stays the same for decades, you would say, okay, that might be a market that is dying down. But for real estate, it has always been the same. And for tokenization and blockchain, it now seems to be the case that it's really finally the technological method that will change the way traditional assets are used, transferred, just being administrative part of it, but just being worked with, I think. And I think if we look at real estate in general, assets in general, we're still very early. We're still extremely early. I always compare it to the internet in the year 1998, right? When nobody believed in it, when people said, why would I need internet? I could just send emails, right? It's that type of situation. So yeah, I think it's inevitable. I think we're still in the starting phases. What we see, we recently went to the Global Family Office Investment Summit, and there were a lot of big real estate portfolios, and none of them really are working with blockchain companies yet, but they're all interested in it because they all recognize the benefits, such as easy liquidity, being able to sell part of an asset, the hedge against fraud, the transparency part, the transfer of ownership within seconds, the liquidity issues that it solves. So yeah, we're really at the starting point of this revolution, with EstateX being like one of the front runners in it, having built this for 5 years and being positioned at that front line. And we do see a lot of more institutions wanting to get their assets on chain, wanting to launch test projects. We recognize we're facilitating a couple of them currently with a white label technology and tokenizing it and getting their assets on chain. So the interest is extremely increasing. I think it's a very bullish sign that now also in the UAE, regulations are chasing. You can there now, they've done a successful pilot with putting multiple people on a title deed. The administration is now also pro blockchain in the White House, pro tokenization. So the foundations are laid there, and it's now a matter of seeing how fast it evolves and getting that mass adoption. And it will happen. It will happen. It's inevitable.
Love that. Steve, didn't know if you wanted to add anything onto that, or if you think that covered it pretty well.
No, I think you covered everything. Yeah, so it is inevitable, and this is a thing that is just we want people to really understand, is that we are getting in very early. Everybody that's in crypto, it seems like we've been in crypto for ages, because obviously a month in crypto is like 6 months in the real world. But sometimes, like when you're looking at RWA, you really does expose the fact that we are so early. We are so early. So even people just getting onto EstateX now, or getting onto EstateX when we launch on the exchanges in a couple of days on Wednesday the 18th of this week, it is really early. And that mass worldwide adoption hasn't happened yet. The government getting fully back behind it hasn't happened, but it's starting to happen, and this is a perfect time. It's happened enough for us to be able to do our thing and grow and explode into the market, but it happened too much that it's like people have missed the boat and it's already gone. You know what I mean? So now is the perfect time.
Beautiful. And could you walk us through sort of how a real world property becomes a token on EstateX, and how that process actually goes from beginning to end?
Yeah. It really depends per jurisdiction, because every jurisdiction has a different type of regulation and the way it gets tokenized or on chain, or the vehicle, the backend that you need to use. But in essence, it comes down to putting currently, you have to work with the SPV model to do ownership or equity type of deals. In the UAE, like I said, they're now putting multiple people on a title deed, which basically facilitates and paves the way for tokenization. But until that's like worldwide incorporated, you're still looking at the SPV model, which is also a proper way of doing it, where you transfer the ownership of an asset into the SPV, which is basically like a company for holding purposes of the asset. And then you tokenize the shares of that asset. And what we are able to do with the ESX blockchain, like I explained, and on tokenizing under the German Electronic Securities Act, is that you actually put the registry via a regulated registrar, the actual ownership proof of an asset into a smart contract. And then basically you tokenize the shares of that SPV that holds the asset. So a token then represents the SPV shares. Where if you buy a token, that is basically your part of the real estate. You have equity in the SPV that owns the property, which is indirectly or directly basically the same thing. You have to complete rights to the rental income, to the capital appreciation, and we eliminate the administrative hassle for you, because we take that on. We make sure that paperwork is minimalized. We make sure that the tech is ready, that the legal backend is there. So that's basically how it goes. And then you're looking at filing either prospectus or a security offering for your offering, and then formality where you have to sign some paperwork, obviously in the way of a click box, because we make it so seamless. The transition from Web 2 to Web 3 is very seamless on our platform, where it's just a matter of a couple of clicks and you could be a real estate investor. So we basically, the complicated backend is what we take care of, and then we make it so simple for you on the front end that if you are logged in the platform, you basically just see your wallet, your portfolio, the property offerings. You can add it to your cart, you can check out, and within a couple of clicks, you're a real estate investor.
Wow. Well, and then what's the main benefit again for people who want to list on the platform versus just listing, without the Web3 component to it?
Yeah, so there are lots of benefits that tokenization bring. For example, what is very interesting for, let's say, a couple of portfolio owners, for example, is if they only want to sell part of an asset. So they have the possibility to sell only, let's say like 10 or 20% of their property, and they could use that, for example, for renovations to increase the property price and then flip the property again. So it's a very efficient way. But in general, tokenization brings so many benefits, such as the liquidity aspect, where you can transfer the property tokens very quickly. You can get rid of it in a couple of minutes. Theoretically, you could buy real estate today and then sell it tomorrow. It's probably not the most efficient trading technique, but it does give you that possibility and the flexibility to take funds out of your property in a much, much more efficient way than what previously was possible, where you had to sell, the entire asset. You have to find a broker, months of negotiations, then go to the notary and all the paperwork, and that can now all be done within just a couple of clicks. So that's quite revolutionary for, like I said, a market that has stayed the same for decades as it is. Furthermore, you're looking at the transfer of ownership within a couple of minutes, the hedge against fraud, because it's all transparent and visible on the blockchain. Tokenization brings so many benefits and revolutionize and makes the all traditional systems way, way more efficient than opposed to the traditional method.
Very nice. Sounds tough. I like it. And then also, I was kind of curious. So AI is really cracked into every single sector of crypto. Does AI play any kind of role on like automation or backend for you guys in the company side, for you or for clients or anybody in the process, I guess?
Yeah, 100%. We obviously see what benefits AI can bring and how that could be also very transformational, just like tokenization is. We are actually developing an AI agent that does property buying, selling, and portfolio management for you. And there's currently one AI agent out there that does something similar, but not really. The only thing that they do basically is to source the properties for you, give you the data, and then you can make a decision based upon that. But the crazy thing is that something that is, you would think, beneficial, but not that revolutionary, but it has already sold over $100 million in properties in just a span of a couple of months, which is a crazy number, but it also shows the potential and how it could replace estate agents and brokers, etc. But what we are developing is basically taking this to the next level, where we are developing an AI agent that does not only do sourcing based on data, but it does actual put offers in for you. It does negotiations. It actually buys at the right time. It makes sure that it gives you the info for, make sure you put this offer in, or don't go with that offer, or if you have that price, you have a bargain type of deal. And it all does that based upon data of past performance, future performance, what have similar properties been sold for, what if you do a renovation, how could that increase, future construction plans in the area, for example. So it gets fed so many data to make sure that it delivers you all the info and make sure it gets the right calculations and makes the right decisions for you, where now all of a sudden an AI agent does for you buying, selling, sourcing, portfolio management. It makes sure that it gets the right leverage for you, where you can, for example, put your property tokens up as collateral to get loans, to increase your yield, to build out leverage trades and build out your portfolio. And that's all managed by an AI agent. It does everything for you. And that's quite revolutionary, because it also creates the possibility all of a sudden to like sort of day trade or monthly trade or semi-annually trade properties based upon actual real life data of future performance, past performance, negotiations with other parties, also on a secondary marketplace, put offers in, sees if it can make profit, yes or no. So it basically does everything for you. It notifies you. So it's a completely revolutionary way to obtain it. And we're also linking an AI token to that. It's called AI ESX. And this AI ESX token linked to this property, which is way more revolutionary than other AI agents out there who have already sold $100 million in property. And the only way you can obtain this token is by staking ESX. So if you stake your ESX, which will launch in 2 days on some big exchanges, then you will be able to obtain this token. It will launch at the sub 100K market cap. And also if you have the AI ESX token, you will be able to unlock multiple tiers within this revolutionary AI agent that can do complete property management, portfolio management, buying, selling, and trading for you.
Beautiful. And yeah, actually, I was hoping to dive into that a little bit, like the tokenomics side of things, the token side of things, and for the people who are in the more DeFi side, those guys love that conversation. So you mentioned there's AI ESX token, and then there's also like a main token in the ecosystem that's ESX, EstateX, right?
Yeah,
as well. Can
ESX.
you dive into that a little bit? Okay.
Yeah. No, definitely. But the AI, yeah, go ahead, Steve.
No, just I'll let you continue. It's just important to note that the AI token is something that's going to be coming out in a couple of months when we launch the mainnet, when we launch the L1 blockchain. But obviously, with our amazing staking rewards and people that are purchasing ESX and staking ESX next week, well, this week on the 18th of Wednesday, the 18th of June, they will be able to get the staking rewards. As Bart mentioned, that it's not going to be pre-sales. It's only way you're going to be able to get access to this before it launches on our blockchain in about 2-3 months' time is actually going to be staking and getting access primary airdrop to the staking. And depending on the different levels that you stake, the more that you stake, the more airdrops you can have and the more ESX rewards that you can have as well. And we also have season 2 NFTs as well with some amazing perks, rewards and utilities where, for example, one NFT might be to get you early access into a property before it goes on the market, because some of our properties we're selling like 10% below market value, rental income up to like 7%, things like that. So these are really, don't let the cute character fool you. These NFTs really have some serious amazing perks, rewards and utilities. And again, you're going to be able to get first access and get free NFTs when you stake ESX on certain different levels as well. So yeah, so it's really strong staking opportunities.
Very nice.
Yeah, and let me dive into the ESX token, because the ESX token is really the lifeblood of our ecosystem, in the sense of that everything is facilitated by the ESX token within our ecosystem. And like I said, it's the native currency of our L1 chain. And this L1 blockchain, like I said, has unique technical aspects, such as being the most efficient RWA chain in the sense of having ZK KYC, being fast and reliable, can execute regulated tokenization on the blockchain, make sure that it has RWA compliant token standard according to regulations. But additionally, we offer with this L1 chain a complete package where you have things for like incubation, fundraising, for assets for institutions, but also for new projects, white label technologies such as investment platforms and asset management platforms. You can tap into our legal framework. So we have gone through years of the regulatory processes with different regulators, where we have brokers licenses, registry licenses, custodial licenses. And if you are a new project that wants to build on it, or you're an institution that wants to make use of our solutions, we offer that possibility if you build on the ESX blockchain together with all the technical aspects that I mentioned. So it's a very attractive package that we offer. And the ESX token will be the native currency of that chain. So it doesn't matter if it's an institution that wants to get their assets on chain, or it's an asset that we sell on the EstateX platform. Everything will get tokenized on this chain. And to give you a practical example, Plume Network, for example, has only $60 million in TVL, but their market cap hovers around $250 million. Not saying it's one-on-one correlated, obviously, but it does give you an illustration of what the potential is here. Furthermore, apart from that, we see 20 to 35% of company revenue flow back into the ESX token, basically meaning that the better the business does, ESX holders will also profit off of that, making sure that you basically create a sort of a bear market hedge. Not saying that we won't feel the effect of a bear market. Obviously we will, but it does create the possibility for a constant USD inflow into the token, depending on how good the business does. And the more time we have to build out with the backers that we have and the properties that we are selling, the white label technology, that revenue will then flow back into the ESX token. So very promising side on that as well. Furthermore, it facilitates the EstateX pay system in which you can pay with your real estate investments. I'm sure Steve will go into that in a bit and what the system entails. And it's also a distribution mechanic for our rental income, where rental income can be claimed in EstateX, basically sort of creating the possibility where you see 8 to 10% of the assets under management value of the platform via transaction fees and buyback, via transaction fees and the rental income flow back into the EstateX token. So yeah, quite a utility-driven token, where obviously the better the business does, the results will be felt by EstateX holders, and the increase in USD into the token. And the beautiful thing about all of this is that our FTV is still very low. We've had dozens of conversations with exchanges, launch partners, and they all say, but guys, for a L1 and the utilities that you have, why don't you launch on a way higher market cap? Why only on a $20.6 million? Usually these projects launch on $100 million FTV or 150. And we always say, yeah, but we are a company, built by the people for the people. We want to give back to them. We want to make sure that they have the upside potential and that there's enough growth room also for investors. And we stick to their word and we give the value back to the people who've been there from the beginning, and our loyal customer base. It's not for nothing that we have the biggest community in tokenized real estate with 150,000 platform sign-ups, 300,000 followers, 70,000 people on the Telegram with thousands of messages a day. It's because of, we want to deliver back to the people. So it also, means that even if you, weren't able to get into the pre-sale, if you buy at launch at the 20.6 billion FTV with all the backers that we have, USDT co-founder, dozens of VCs, the people we have under management who have done billions of deals with pension funds, wealth funds, etc., you will still be early. You will still be early. We've been developing this for 5 years. We could have launched in the height of the previous bull run, where you could drop a pitch deck on the floor and raise $500,000, that type of situation. But we didn't. We didn't do that. We wanted to develop. We got all the foundations in place. We got the right backing. We have the tech, and now it's time. Now it's go time, and to release the beast on the estate on launch. Release the EstateX token, and looking forward to what the future brings.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude, that is awesome. Saw Team Sussin here. The Telegram's on fire. They said, "What's get his drink?" 200 messages when I get back. It's nuts. Crazy time.
So I'm saying about the EstateX family. We literally have one of the most passionate and phenomenal communities in crypto. Shout out to all of you. We're so lucky. Shout
outs. Well, so what kind of rewards do you see for the best way to play to sort of get involved in the ecosystem? Would you say is just a Telegram, or is there like not like a roadmap? We could dive into that, but so like a thing, like a roadmap for a user who's just new, hearing about EstateX, thinks it's pretty cool, like first steps to get into the ecosystem and the community for you guys?
Well, I think Team SUS just answered that question. You know what I mean? He literally went to step away for 2-3 minutes to get a coffee, and he came back and there's 200 messages in the Telegram. We have one of the most active communities in RWA, if not the most active community in RWA, soon to be the biggest community. So as we always say, don't just take our word for it. It's very easy for us to say, how good we believe our platform is and why people should, get on board with EstateX. But go and meet other people like yourselves. Go and meet other people, other investors, other retail traders, other institutions. Why have they brought EstateX? Why did they get into the pre-sale? Why did all the pre-sales sell out within 1 to 3 minutes? Why is there so much buy pressure within our amazing, amazing community? And, ask them what the situation is, what they think. Even if you go to our website, estatex.eu, that's estatex.eu, you can see like a whole string of testimony videos from our amazing community members talking about why they invested into EstateX, the team. Even Bart over here, he's like one of the most active founders in the Telegram group I ever see. Sometimes I'm trying to drag him away, like, Bart, we've got to get this done, we've got to get that done. And he's like in the Telegram, and he's almost like a moderator. So it's like, where do you get a chance where you can have such access to like one of the founders, one of the people who started it, you know what I mean? So go into the Telegram group first and foremost, look through the pinned messages, go and join our announcement channel, go back and you can see the progressions. You can see all of the amazing announcement, all the amazing partnerships, all the different product developments, us selling out our first piece of real estate in less than 5 minutes, which is phenomenal. And it's going back all 4+ years. And then go to the website, www.estatex.eu, and then also sign up to the wait list as well, sign up to our VIP email list. And then obviously naturally go on, if you haven't done so already, go and follow us on Twitter. If you're not living under a rock, be one of our 300,000 plus growing Twitter followers. And then obviously we're doing daily updates, and you can just see us growing really. But everybody's a different learner. Some people are more like academic, where they just want to go download the pitch deck, read certain things. Other people are more interactive, like myself. I want to go and speak to people. I want to ask certain questions and so on and so forth. So if you want to go speak to people, no matter how big or small your question is in the Telegram, all your questions are going to be welcome. You'll make friends, build a great network, and you'll see obviously why EstateX family is so strong. But if you are more of an academic and you want to just like lock in, then go and download our pitch deck, go and do your DD, go and look through the website, and obviously follow us on social media too.
Beautiful. What do you think the hardest part is for y'all's job? Is the hardest part getting people to want to list on the platform? Is it more harder to, I mean, I guess it's not that hard to get people to buy it because it's sold out in like, 11 seconds or something. You came back to go to the bathroom, came back and it's sold out. So what do you think the hardest part of the job is for you guys?
There's a few different ways to answer that. I think getting the legalities in place over the last 3-4 years, that has been tough. Bart's done a great job with the legal team, making sure they have the right licensing, the right registrations, the legal umbrellas, registrars, meetings, all of this sort of stuff, the compliance, making sure that we can do that. Somebody said to us the other day, like, oh, were you thinking about sports teams? Amazing. Has been an actual real estate. So nothing has actually been harder than the real side of things. So now we have that legal umbrella in place, then it's so much easier for us to do other verticals. And as Bart mentioned before, when we're taking other people onto our L1 blockchain, it's so much easier for them to actually capitalize on our legalities as well. They don't have to spend the 4 or 5 years that we did doing all the legal side of things. They can actually do that. Have enough working hours? I missed that message, but yeah. So that was obviously a difficult part. Doing a lot, like when you're growing a company and there's obviously the team started small and it's getting bigger and bigger. Obviously, we wear a lot of hats as well. You know what I mean? You almost, as a business owner, you become, Bart can identify this, you become a control freak. So, my main kind of side of the role is marketing, business development, relationships, but I'm in all aspects of the business, same with Bart as well. There's so many hats that we wear, and it's just trying to stay organized, trying to stay focused, and trying to make sure that we build those strong foundations. And they're one of the times where it was hard, where it's just like long hours, waking up and things potentially could go wrong and so on and so forth. It's just typical business putting out fires. But as I always say, like, shout out to the EstateX family of investors, just seeing the love, seeing the messages, seeing the support, seeing the trust, seeing the encouragement that they have, and just seeing how the community is growing. We appreciate our old investors, our new investors. We always say we'll be nothing without the EstateX family, so they keep us going. We know that this is a big mission, bigger than all of us. You know what I mean? We're here to bring the real world into RWA, and that is something we take very seriously, because as I always say, if we want Bitcoin to get to 500,000 to 1 mil, we can't be expecting the same people in crypto be buying and selling the same Bitcoin token and for it to just do a 10x. We need to be getting the rest of the world into crypto, and RWA is a great way to do that. Property and assets is very familiar, and if you can get like the average person on the street to actually be in Web3, but they still feel like they're in Web2, that's the main difference. And that's one of the things that we have with our platform. As Bart said, we're making investing as simple, as easy as online shopping. So I would say those are the main kind of like difficulties, just a general thing of actually growing a real business. We're not a crypto company, we're a lifestyle innovation company that utilizes blockchain to get to the next level. So to grow out of that crypto stigma, still be big in crypto, but also to be big in Web2, that takes a bit of balance as well. But we feel like we've got that perfect balance, and that's why there's so much hype around EstateX. That's why we believe we're a unicorn loading, and that's why we're about to make history.
Amazing. Bart, was there anything you wanted to add to that, or is that pretty good?
No, it's pretty good. I think it summarizes it all. I don't think we've worked so hard over the past 5 years to put all these foundations in place. That a lot of the hard parts have been done, so to say. There will obviously come a lot of hard parts still. Trust me, running and trying to build a unicorn is never easy, and it will never be easy. But I think it's more the internal side of things that is the bigger challenge than the external side of things at this stage. To refer to your first thing, like getting properties hasn't been an issue at all. It's more the other way around. Like, there's so many people in line that want to make use of the solutions that we have, the tokenization that we have, the ability to sell real estate. Everybody wants to be able to flip properties or unlock liquidity out of their property. So that has not been the issue at all. I think if you have a platform that can generate liquidity, it won't be an issue at all to attract assets. And that's what we've noticed the past years. And obviously, people want to sell properties, and we have an army of buyers. So it matches really well. So yeah, just to refer to that hasn't been an issue at all. It's been actually very, very easy. We can choose, the very, very best deals from the offers that we get. So yeah, just wanted to add to that, and yeah, it's primarily the internal part, like Steve said, but I think a lot of the hard parts and the foundations are in place. So yeah, onwards and upwards from here.
Very nice. Yeah, and I know we got just a few minutes left here because we got to get you guys on here, but. I was kind of curious on what success looks like for you guys. You guys mentioned you guys are looking to be that top tier, gold standard, S tier company in this arena. So what does that look like for you guys? Like, what areas of the industry are you taking hold of? Are you focused on most? Are you most focused on / passionate on? And what does that look like for you guys? And is there any kind of timeline you guys know of in terms of, like, is this something you guys think about for timeline, or is it more just that's the goal? It might take 5 years or 15 years. We're going to keep going that way.
It's a bit of both, to be honest, because we have our goals, and then for example, we have our goals. Then we met Brock Pierce, the co-founder of USDT. Then all of a sudden, what we wanted to do in 5 years from now, we can do in 18 months from now. We have our goals, and then we met. I can't actually say. I was almost going to let out a massive post-launch announcement. So almost got me, Cage. Almost got me. But yeah, somebody massive is already signed and behind EstateX, and he's part of a massive. I'm not going to say too much, but yeah, very, very soon after launch, you're going to know and understand. And then again, accelerating us so much faster. So yeah, we have our goals, but we're just in such a blessed situation. I always say the situation where people are, is it tough, is it blah, so on and so forth. But I always say we're too blessed to be stressed. Like, how can we be stressed out? Where look at the opportunity that we have, look at what we've built, look at everything that we've done. It's very easy to get sucked into like the day-to-day bullshit, but realistically, we're in a phenomenal situation, and we're constantly meeting new people, getting more people on board, getting more partners on board that can literally accelerate us to the next level. So we could say this is where we want to be in 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, but there's a very good chance if things keep going the way they have done, then in the next 6 months, we're going to meet somebody that 5 year plan is now going to be a 1 year plan, or even a 6 month plan. Things are just accelerating at a crazy rapid rate. Even just like, what we're doing with the AI token and the AI agent and so on and so forth. And we've just got so many other things that we're going to be doing and launching. But the best way to answer that question is, what is the goal? World domination. You know what I mean? Like, we're not here to play any games. We understand that there's a massive gap in the market. We understand the reasons why tokenization and RWA haven't been mass worldwide adopted yet. And every single reason, we've actually taken all the positives and removed the negatives. And we believe that we are that company to do it correctly. And, the co-founder of USDT believes this. And obviously, we've got thousands of investors that believe, and obviously just the partnerships. And again, we're not just talking the talk, we actually have walked the walk. We've tokenized our own real estate. We've built platforms, and we have all of these things in place. So yeah, the future is looking absolutely phenomenal. I would urge people to really look into the staking side of things at launch, because if you think about it, what do you feel like is going to happen to the chart when we launch our L1 blockchain, and then we start announcing the sports teams, the music artists, and all these big Web2 and Web3 verticals coming onto that? Shortly after launch, we're going to be doing a demo day, and all these people are going to be, vying to get onto the platform. We're going to again, won't say too much. It's a nice little format we're going to do for people. So there's just going to be so much for people to be able to get into. And we're not one of these companies that have released 100% at launch, and then after a certain correction, there's not really too much places for us to go. We're probably only going to be releasing maybe 5-10% max at launch. So, you know, we have things in place for announcements a couple of days after launch, a week after launch, a month after launch. We have announcements for next quarter, the end of the year, you know what I mean, where we have the EstateX Pay side of things, the EstateX University side of things, and some of these other amazing things which we can't talk about now. All of these things are coming out. So as I said before, you're not even getting on the ground level, you're getting in on the basement level, and we're doing everything in our power to see that token price go up. And don't just kind of like look at the team. Yes, look at the team. We've got an amazing team and we've got an amazing product, but it's also the heart that we have. And I'm not even saying this in like trying to kind of big us up type of way, but it's just people can have great credentials on paper, but do they have the heart? Like when the chips are down, when things are against you, have they kept going? You know what I mean? When we've been told you have to launch, you have to do this, and we've actually stuck to our guns. Have they actually done that, or have they been bullied into launch? Have they actually, you know, cut corners? Have they actually taken the 4 or 5 years to actually, you know, to really build the foundations? People don't understand how much sacrifice it's taken from Bart, from Thomas, from myself, from all of the other core people that's invested into EstateX. They think that, you know, early this year, if a launch date gets moved, that it just affects investors. It affects all of us massively. You know what I mean? Like nobody's so excited for the launch than us on here. And I think that takes conviction. You know, we had Brock Pierce say the other day that, you know, he admires our courage, he admires our tenacity, he admires the fact that at one point we were getting pushed and bullied in all angles to launch. And now everybody's sending us very apologetic DMs to be like, no, we would have got wrecked. You guys made the right decision. So glad, you know, we're in your guys' hands, and now is definitely the time to launch. And even just the state of the RWA market right now is much better than it was before. So I just feel like one of our main advantages, which I don't think I've ever spoke about this before, is our heart. You know what I mean? Just like even 2-3 years ago in the bear market, a lot of companies just folded out, and we'd raised a little bit in that time. We could have just given up, and you know, nobody would have gone against us, but we didn't. We stuck it out. We kept sacrificing. We kept pushing through. You know, pushing our own money into this and putting our blood, sweat, and tears into this, because we know the vision is just so much bigger than us, and we know that whatever obstacle that ever hits us as a team, we're always gonna continue to be smashing these obstacles out of the way. So cannot wait for you guys to see more.
Beautiful, beautiful. I don't think there's a better way to wrap the conversation and get you guys out here on time. I know you guys have to bounce here in a second. Is there any last things you guys want to leave the audience with before we wrap? It's been an excellent conversation.
Bart, you'd like to take it? What do you want me to?
Yeah. So like I said, the launch, the TGE of the ESX token is upcoming. We've been developing it for 5 years. I last said it to a couple of our investors. I said it's actually so crazy to think that, you know, 5 years long has been a preparation to a starting point. You know what I mean? Because from launch is the moment when it's all going to start. You know what I mean? But we've been already working on it for 5 years, which is pretty crazy to think. But wow. No, it's. But like I said, it's you know, don't just take our word for it. Go speak with our investors. Go to our community. See why, you know, they are so crazy, why they are so active, why their average staking position is 55% for an average of 7 years. Go ask how hyped they are and why they have so much trust in the project. We are launching on the 18th of June, so 2 days left, guys. Some very big exchanges of very big names. We've been able to get it. Biggest community Tokenizing Real Estate. We're doing a massive AMA campaign, more than 40 AMAs. So you still have a chance to catch up a couple of times in the next couple of days. So yeah, no, very excited for TG. Very utility driven token. So make sure you don't miss out.
Make sure you don't miss that. Right on. Guys, I appreciate you coming on, Bart. Steve, have an amazing rest of your day. Guys, be sure to follow them and go, if you're on X right below and above our face, you can give everybody a follow and check them all out. So catch you guys all in the next one. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, Kate. Cheers.